The Nollywood film industry constantly is redefining filmmaking with its blockbuster movies and stories that have captured hearts not just locally but globally. Now, one of such movies, which was released recently, is Anikulapo, set in the 17th century Oyo Kingdom and directed by Kunle Afolayan. From a global lens, the movie is currently on a 2-week streak of being the most watched non-English film with close to 9 million viewing hours. Anikulapo is a beautifully crafted presentation of Yoruba stories showcased to a global audience. Now, whilst being celebrated for its sheer brilliance, we must spotlight the characters that come together to tell the story, one of whom is the lead male character, Saro, played by Kunle Remi. Kunle Remi is a Nigerian actor, TV host, Compere, model, and an all-round entertainer. This morning on Breakfast Central, he'll be joining us to talk about what it takes to become the character. Osalge, before we invite Kunle to join us, I'd like to ask you, how important you think it is for us to showcase our Nigerian stories. I think one of the most exciting things for me about this movie was the fact that it was shot in Yoruba from the beginning to the end in Yoruba language. So I want you to talk to us about the importance of us telling our stories in its most authentic and traditional form. Everyone is trying to learn other languages. Isn't it time we project more of our stories to the world?
Well, to me, it's a reminder of how beautiful our languages are, and that is different languages across Nigeria, and the beauty in our language, in our culture, in our traditions, and some of all of that. It's interesting to see the attention that this movie has gotten, and that is not just from people who are from the southwestern part of Nigeria. These are for people across the country and across the continent. And so I 100% think it's extremely important, and it's stuff that should be done even more often, in different languages. The investment, in Nollywood, the investment in creating movies should not shy away from local language scripts. They should go ahead and continue to push those movies out and, just give people that feeling. Because I'm sure that's one of the catchy things about this movie, the fact that it tells a story of the Oyo people and Yoruba people, and of course it's done in local language. So more and more of that should be done. I'm 100% behind, in support of it, and I would love to see more, in all honesty.
All right. Interestingly, for me, I think the high point of this would be the fact that, not just was it telling the Yoruba story in its most authentic form, but even the set, everything was constructed from the ground up. This morning, we're joined by Kunle Remi, who is the lead male character, Saro. Thank you so much for joining us, Kunle, on the show this morning.
Thank you for having me.
All right, Kunle, we're sorry to have woken you up. We know that you're filming and you're currently on set. But first of all, I'd like to say congratulations on this big win for you and for the rest of the team that worked on Anikulapo. Did you foresee the widespread acceptance, and what has been the most exciting part for all, of all of this for you?
It's been very overwhelming. I kind of foresaw it, if I'm going to be honest, but not on this massive global scale. I just saw it as such a good and beautiful piece that the world should see. That's what I thought, and that's what I envisioned. And boom, the world is seeing way more than I anticipated or I thought. So yeah, I'm glad. I didn't see it coming.
Well, I want to talk about your roots now, because of course in this movie, in the character you played, Saro, you had to speak Yoruba all through. So how challenging was that for you? And of course, we've always seen you in English movies. So was this, also a challenge of how well your Yoruba speaking was?
Yes, absolutely. It was quite challenging because I'm Yoruba, right? I'm from Ekiti State, and it was very challenging because it wasn't just the Yoruba Eku, which is the typical speaking Yoruba in Lagos format. It was more of the Ijinle Yoruba, which is the deep Yoruba, the deep Oyo, and I didn't have that. I could understand that, but I couldn't speak that. So it took a lot for me to get into that language space and be very clear and audible, and also with the mannerisms and the character of a Saro. That's the character I played of a Yoruba guy from Bogon. It took a lot. It was quite challenging.
I want to ask, is this your first Yoruba film?
Is this my first Yoruba? Yes, this is my first epic Yoruba movie. It's the first
Wow.
ever. The other one I did was something with Toyin Abraham, but it was just in passing. It's just a Lagos Yoruba guy in passing. So this is the first epic I'm ever doing. Full Yoruba feature.
Okay, so now let's talk about becoming the character in a movie. You've played several characters over the years. Share with us your process of becoming the character using Saro as a case study.
The process. First and foremost, for me, it was more about shutting down completely from who Kunle is to allow Saro become. It wasn't an easy thing because then I had to think so much of. I had
Kunle, are you still there with us? All right, seems we might be having some connection issues. We hope that Kunle can join us shortly so we can talk about this in extent, talk about this in depth and look at exactly what it took for him to become Saro. There are also several other angles we'd like to look at. The fact that his character did get some bashing. A lot of people thought that he was unfair to Arolake. It will be interesting to see if he sees any merit in these arguments and as well to find out if he has any similarities between his personality as Kunle and the character Saro. Kunle, are you back with us? All right, whilst we're still sorting that out, Osauge, what are some of the angles you think you would like to explore further in this conversation?
Well, just a reminder, that at some point in my life I also wanted to be an actor, but that didn't happen yet. I'm guessing that it still will. But of course, I've also seen the reactions to the movie, and of course the persons who have said that they would like to make this into a TV series and so on, some of all of that. But I think we have Kunle Remi. Is he back with us?
Yes, I'm here.
Okay,
All
brilliant.
Right. So please go ahead. We're talking to us about becoming the character, Saro.
Yes, I said so. Okay, becoming the character. Look, can you imagine? I said so much. Okay, it was beautiful to experience and to become, and it was quite aided because the whole set was created in that space. There's nothing more beautiful than you being a character, and when you see the environment, when you see the set that has been built to aid this, when you see the costuming, when you see the veterans you're surrounded by, all these things just aided the performance, aided the character. Speaking a different language, shooting in the area, in the zone where, in Oyo itself, helps with preparation. So it wasn't far-fetched for me as an actor to get into the character because everything works together for me to become.
Okay, I want you to also quickly, share on this. I'm not sure if you have information, but there is also reports, that the Nigerian Oscar Committee did not accept Anikulapo's nomination. Can you quickly share, anything on that aspect, and also the stories that this might be turned into a TV series?
Okay, so speaking about the Oscar nomination, the Nigerian Oscar Committee, I really don't have so much to say about it because Kunle Afolayan was in the space was in that conversation with them. I wasn't in it, but I don't understand why. I'm really curious to understand why that didn't happen. And not just, and this is even beyond Anikulapo. Anikulapo is a masterpiece, but we had so many other films submitted. So why can't any of them make it? I think they are the best people to answer these questions, and they haven't said anything. That's the Oscar committee. They haven't. So I don't know. About Anikulapo being a series, absolutely, the director confirmed that because when I got the script initially, it was actually a series. So this one, the movie was made as a pilot to usher in the series and see the reception of it, how people are going to receive it, and how it's going to do. It's like test the waters. But initially, it's always been a series.
All right, that's exciting. So we have more of Saro to come. I wonder what will happen this time. Your character certainly got some bashing. Some of the opinion that you were that's not you. He was unfair to Arolake. Do you see any merit in their arguments? And also, do you see any similarities between Kunle Remi and Saro?
Olive?
Yes?
Okay. So first and foremost, the bashing was very weird. But then again, it makes me applaud myself because it just means that beyond just the bashing, it means that I did a fantastic job as an actor to bring to life a character that you despise, that you just can't stop talking about. For about a week or over, Saro was one of the most was the most popular man in Nigeria. I mean, and then in certain countries, and it's just because of his attitude in Arola. I applaud myself when I get the bashing as to crying over it. I made my choice with these characters. I read the script. I'm not judging Saro, but we all have our opinions. I mean,
So are you similar to
yes,
Saro in any way?
Yeah. This is Kunle Remi speaking to you before breakfast on a breakfast show. Saro will probably have been raising the dead by now somewhere. I'm completely different. It was very interesting and insightful to bring such a man to life.
Okay. I also want to talk about Nollywood. It currently has the world's attention more than it even did in the past. I want to know what you think changed in the last roughly 10 years. Did we improve on creativity, or was it a funding issue? What has taken us to where we are today? In the film industry. And what more would you like to see happen? And of course we must continue to celebrate the likes of Kunle Afolayan and others who have done exceptionally well in creating these masterpieces for the world to see. So, but what do you think changed?
In the last 10 years, I think what really has changed is the fact that filmmakers have become more daring. Filmmakers have begun to take more risk, have opened up to the possibilities that we never really imagined existed. Also, the world has been exposed. I mean, Nigeria has been exposed to the world. Nigeria, Africa, our stories have been exposed to the world. The rich culture has been exposed to the world, and it's such a huge market that every studio, every filmmaker, every other industry out there should want to tap into. So I'm not even surprised that we've gotten to this very moment or this very point, and it's just getting started. That's what I understand, because we've had the likes of Netflix coming to the country, we've had the likes of Amazon being here, we have the likes of Disney popping in. HBO are here is around the corner, and all of this is happening because they've all seen the potential that we carry and the richness of our culture and our stories and the creativity in the industry. So yes, I'm just glad to be part of the generation that's experiencing this.
You've done so well, Kunle. You've done really well for yourself. What next should we expect from you now and in the nearest future?
First and foremost, Kunle Remi is always working and living. I will not throw out the living part. I'm always living and I'm still working. I have an amazing film coming out in December for cinema. Now, this is for cinema. It's with the beautiful Tony Abraham. It's called Ijakumo. That's another side entirely to Kunle Remi. The flight has taken off. We're about to shake the waters on the table a little bit. And aside from that, there's so much that's going to keep happening. I'll never stop grinding. I have my own projects. I have so many other collaborations happening with my own company, and the growth is going. It's gone.
It's going. Thank you so much, Kunle Remi, for joining us this morning. All the best with Anikulapo being still #1 non-English film. It's still trending around the world. We look forward to seeing many amazing things that you have to do from here going on. Do enjoy the rest of your day.
Thank you, and you too. Have a fantastic day.